Hello, I'm Quack.
I'm Co.
That is not how this is supposed to go. Welcome to Quack Co, the board game channel where every video is
10 minutes,
10
or,
minutes
less.
or less.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I guess
today,
you're the end. Aww, Mom and Dad.
We're diving into the Great Wall with a best and worst review. Now, we have previews on this, gameplays on this, lots of coverage here. We all, so far, really love this game.
Hey,
For
how
me,
do you know?
It was in one of my top 10 from 2021, but we're gonna give you the high and low. So very quickly, under 10 minutes, hit that subscribe button down below, you don't have long left, you can decide if this is something that you should be intrigued in, so you can decide if you wanna go find out more information on it. Alex, do you wanna set up what we're doing here?
Basic idea of the Great Wall is as follows. This is a Euro game with a bit of a pasted on tower defense theme, but ultimately it's all about that worker placement. It's all about selecting your cards every single round and trying to play those cards to move your clerks around the board, trying to take advantage of the various zones to generate resources, to build various defenses, to gather more troops, all in the aim of defeating the horde cards that are coming your way.
Oh,
you're trying
let's
to
restore the board to its proper glory while you talk.
I don't know what that means. You're trying to take out the various enemy units, you're trying to build up your forces, you're slowly leveling up your overseers that are going to give you recurring revenue and more revenue every time you take actions, and then you're going to be mindful of your initial general and your various advisors because those are going to give you game-breaking abilities, game-breaking combos that make you more powerful, more different, more special than everyone else at the table, except everyone else has those too, and everyone's pursuing and utilizing their game-breaking advantages to most powerfully take down the hordes and get as many points as possible, or if you're Devin, just score 63 points in the end game, it's all good.
We just got finished with a game where it was getting a little difficult to see because of our filming setup, which is why the wall itself was not built. The thematic overtures in this game is going to be the rising swell of barbarian hordes. I think it's like Genghis Khan breaching over the banisters while we squabble to not only gain the most honor, like Alex was saying, so it means there's this kind of work together system here where you have to rely on other people for the worker placement zones to activate. And also, there's a growing pressure down here to defend the wall because we all suffer consequences if we aren't involved in some way or form in that protection. Yeah. The coolest part of the game for me is going to be the way that those two things mitigate each other. And I'm gonna be honest, the base game is not my preferred way to play. It's a little bit longer, a little bit more clunky and complicated if you swing into the Black Powder expansion, but it highlights so much what's happening here. Half the chaos here in this end game setup we have is from the Black Powder expansion. So if you're looking into getting this game, play base game, but keep in mind, the reason I love this game so much is the experience I've had with the expansions included. So let's set up our best and worst.
I'm going first.
What are you starting with, best or worst?
She's starting with worst.
I'm going to start with worst.
Starting with worst. So starting with worst, Shira from Devin Talks Tabletop, what are you interested in?
I'm from Quack Co. And the worst is going to be iconography / no player aid available / rulebook. I am jumbling it all in one. The rulebook is a little rough to go through. I know they have a reprint coming out. There is no player aid for the iconography, and the iconography is not inclusive of the expansions.
I want to double down that. There's no player aid. That's one thing. There's literally not iconography for their expansions. They have iconography on the cards.
Even
the
just the
rulebook does
sequence
not
of the
have it.
seasons, they have no player aids for any part of this.
They're like, here's a symbol. Hope you can figure it out.
I'm gonna add a big old caveat on top of this. There's currently a reprint happening now while you're watching this video over on Gamefound. One of the reasons we're diving back into this one on the channel, and they are redoing the rulebook. Does that mean it's gonna be good?
No.
It better mean it's gonna be good because they better pay someone a lot of money to fix it.
Unless it's 2025, in which case, not when you're watching this, the turtles have already taken over and we're all gone.
It is arguably the roughest point on this. And I try to give Awaken Realms some grace in the fact that this is the first Euro they've ever done.
They're big enough to have outsourced this task to other people.
Yep, I'm with her. I love Awaken Realms. I don't give them grace on this.
I'm not giving them grace on this.
It's a really bad rulebook.
You can hire Devin from Devin Talks Tabletop and he'll rewrite your rulebook for you.
Worst for me, and I'm gonna set aside the rulebook because we've already placed that down. Worst for me is actually going to be the fact that I feel like you need expansions to get the most out of this game. I feel like the Great Wall part and the worker placement part are disjointed when you actually play just the base game alone. This feels less impactful and less important than it should. And this is interesting, but doesn't give you the resource engine that matters for something happening here. It paints a picture, but it's just not quite there. I do think that anyone that plays this has to get their hands on more advanced features of the game, has to spend time learning them, and has to put in the extra effort to play with them. And that creates a barrier to entry that I think is disappointing in the title overall.
I really like the
So that's my biggest worst here, is that I really don't want to play base game, but I find everything with the expansion to be a little bit harder to get to the table than I would have preferred.
And I will say, since you guys talked about stuff that I already feel, I really enjoyed this play. And even off camera, I know that it would go faster, minus me and my slow decision making.
And bathroom breaks.
And bathroom breaks. I did bathroom breaks when you guys were going. My thing is actually player count bloat. This I do not like. We played it at 3. I liked the speed of it. I liked the pace of it, and I think what that would be with the Black Powder expansion.
Yep.
I had a good time at 4, but I wouldn't choose to play it at 4.
I'd agree.
It ran too long for me, and also you have even more spaces to activate here because of the higher player count. I actually like the other side of the board more, and I like that tighter feel. I think it runs into it. To me, if it extends the play time too much at 4, then I don't know if I'd pick this over other games that are just as long.
Yeah, and I'm going to be right there with you. Player count, length in general is going to be a slight worse to begin with. Even at 3, I think the experience is pushing the bounds of what is appropriate for the experience. Even at 3. But at 3, it's pushing it. It's not necessarily crossing it. At 4, it's barely acceptable in terms of the extra gameplay experience you get with that 4th player is just not comparable. Although what I will say is, I would play it at 4 with the right group, with the right crowd. If
I would play at 4 with you all again, probably not on camera, but I'd be happy to if we all wanted to play.
Yeah.
Shira, best.
Best are these advisor cards. These advisor cards have so many varying powers and abilities, and you have to make the really hard decision whether to slot them under your general and gain the multiplying bonus that your general will give you, or whether you're going to take their individual powers and abilities. They get increasingly more expensive for each one you have, and it is probably the hardest decisions I have to make during this game. Which one to choose?
I'm going to just save time on this one. Exactly what she said. The best is easily the powers and abilities. The combination of the generals and how they power up the advisors, and then the advisors themselves. It's not just you're handed an incredibly cool power, it's where does this go? Do I level up my general, or do I get another power?
I'll be really
some of the
short
most
on
fun
mine.
tableau
You
building.
I'll be really
Ditto?
short on mine
Yes,
so
let's
that you
go
can.
on. I'm not
you
doing
can
ditto, but-
that you can like sub us out. My thing is that I am excited by the design potential of this. That's my best. If I've been interested in Tainted Grail, I've been interested in Nemesis, but this is the one that engaged me and intrigued me the most. And if this is Awaken Realms' first attempt at a Euro,
Sure.
I am excited about the potential of what could come next. Because I don't think that they should stop with just this.
From what I understand, Castle of Burgundy.
So, my best, and one of the reasons why this was in my top 10 of 2021 is going to be the thematic overtures that happen here when you mix in the Black Powder expansion. This feels like a tactical squabble for fame and a combination of us all having to work together to defend against these barbarian hordes or these Genghis Khan hordes that are invading into China. I love the production quality. I love the asymmetric units. I love the tableau building. I love building out the wall. I love all the miniatures that Devin's sprawling across the board at the moment while I'm trying to talk. There is so much here that is thematic, that tells a story, and that is fun to play. And that's something I find that is rare to discover in Euro games. I think a lot of Euro games have kind of a theme that's pasted on, and I think this one does something unique that would be hard to replicate in any other theme or any other atmosphere. I think it's treated the theme with a lot of respect and a lot of care. That being said, this is Quack Co, and the core premise here is going to be less time watching
Means more time playing.
We'll see you next time.
Bye!